last time we have reached the point where our agent has created the following PR, where it created the base or the skeleton for our end-to-end testing and or smoke testing using PyTest requests, schema SQL, and has also created the GitHub workflow, which should be run on each PR, and it was already run on the same PR. Yeah, but the problem is that unfortunately the workflow is not yet working as it should. It failed on one of the initial steps. So there was like first step was just to set up the job, then initialize containers, checkout, correct branch, I think. And yeah, just this is just some Git stuff. And then set up Python, and using and the very next step, which could also be like a substep of setup Python, was installing the dependencies, all the necessary Python libraries. And we have unfortunately conflicts in our requirements txt, so we couldn't proceed and we couldn't see if anything with the database or the tests themselves work correctly or not. So we have to first try to figure out how to solve those conflicts. We will just copy this to our agent, and of course, since we are using agents here, we will ask it to fix the following problem. Let's see if it can figure it out just from that error message what it should do. And after we fix it, okay, it has already some solution. Yes, we would like to update requirements txt. We will also proceed with some additional refactoring. So there are some ideas which it has implemented, but they can be improved. Let me open the PR again. And it has created 4 additional files, but a lot of stuff happens here in this CI file, which I don't like, because it's only meant for the GitHub itself, and we can use that, for example, setup of the database itself also in other contexts for some other tests or something that we could run on our own. So we will try to refactor and add some new ideas to that base that was created last time. But first, let's try to fix the requirements. So it claims that it has updated something. I see that one line has been changed. The version of "it's dangerous" has been changed. So let's ask it to verify that no conflicts are present. No, not like this. Please try to install from requirements txt the same way the CI workflow does, and see if everything works. Let me drink some water in the meantime. It tries to install using pip, correct? And let's see if everything goes smoothly or any other problems are present. So of course there are some additional errors, but maybe it is only because it was not installed properly. There's a new dependency conflict. Of course. So please fix it. And I cannot, for some reason, I cannot remove the characters that I have already typed here. If anyone knows what is the solution for that, please let me know. Please fix it and verify. It has updated some other version. And of course, new problems arise. And we can play like this, but maybe let's remove it altogether. Maybe let's remove txt all together and try to run the tests and update or recreate on the fly. Since we will be trying to fix them one by one, and a new one will pop up, and we will be just burning CPU without an end. So the better idea right now would be to create new requirements txt. But it says that after removing requirements txt, but it hasn't removed anything. Let me remove it myself. So delete permanently, yes. And delete permanently. Yes, let's install newest versions of each package or each package. No, that's not what we want. It's created it by itself. No, that's not what we want. Don't create it yourself. Try to install in virtual environment all the necessary packages and then create requirements txt from that. And yes, okay, let's see. Let's remove that. Okay, it's a good start. Flask, MySQL DB, PyTest request MySQL client. Okay. Okay, let's run the tests and see if they work. We need to ensure that Flask app is running before executing tests that expect it to be available. Would you like help starting the Flask app? Of course. Yes. Let's see how far it can go. But good thing is that it started running the tests before and there were no import errors, but right now I see that they are. So it's probably because it tries, let us look again at this test. It tries to start it in a sub process. Yeah. So we didn't see the errors, but they were there still. Yeah. So fix everything and come back. Let's see how it will proceed. But I think that most efficient way would be first to try to run it without the tests. Okay, does it, and fix it there, and then try to update the tests themselves. And for sure, we will need to somehow pipe or redirect the error messages from the app to see them inside the test. So let's write it down. Let's create a new file called to do, and can I write here? Select language. Sounds like txt. LaTeX. ignore any something like raw file. Okay, maybe Markdown. Markdown is okay. Why can't I write inside? So it looks like I had to just reload my code space, and now I can write again. And yeah, we can clear that stuff, and let's write the to do. So we wanted to make sure that that smoke tests or end-to-end tests don't hide errors. Make sure that no errors or warnings are hidden in end-to-end tests because of subprocess launch. Yeah, the launch of subprocess can hide some of the or all of the outputs, and we want to make sure that it doesn't happen. Other thing is split workflow into individual scripts that can be run on their own. Okay, that's it. So let's now please verify that the app is starting. It took my to do as context, but that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, it's correct. Okay, we don't have a credentials JSON directory. Maybe let's first ask it what would be the correct approach to provide secrets. Yes, we could create that credentials JSON and hardcode something, but that wouldn't be a good option. Maybe it can recommend us something quick if you must use file like generated dynamically in CI. Yeah, okay. So let's use this last recommendation. Okay, let's generate dynamically and see how it works. Okay, it created some sample script that we will remove at some point. But now let's put it in scripts directories. Yeah, so we'll be creating a lot of helpful scripts that we can reuse later and update them, and we will put them in scripts directory. One thing is, I think that it has a problem with moving files. Yeah, so instead of moving that file here, it created a new similar file. Okay, let's remove it ourselves. We'll not ask it to do it since it seems to be too painful. And yes, let's proceed and see how it goes. It has just asked me, should we run it now? Yes. And then again, let's run it. Okay, but at least it created something. So now run the app. Now we are missing the config. Or it's the same credentials? Path to config, path to credentials. Yeah, I think it's the same. Yes, move it, please. Yes. See that we have another credentials here. Okay, let's ask it. I have found a new credentials file with JSON example. Yeah, here. Why don't we use it? Or at least unify the approach to reduce redundancy. There's one of the biggest issues with those agents that I have found while working with them for the past couple weeks, that they like to duplicate the work. And of course, if you work with them for a longer time, right now it's like we are in the first hour, I think, it will just multiply. So the same thing will be redone tens or maybe hundreds of times, unless, of course, you verify everything they do and remove it either manually or tell them to remove it. And use the structure and keys from here. Update. Yes, please choose the best approach and unify. Host user password database. Okay. It has recreated this script again. Yeah, so just in this like past 5 minutes, it has created it in 2 places. Okay, we'll try to clean the rubbish, clean the trash, however you want to pronounce it. Your app and workflow are now consistent. Okay. Let's see if the app is working. I'm almost sure that it's not. Oh, okay, it is working. Okay, great. It is working. So now let's make sure that we have just one generate credentials script. There are two, and that this example is also generated. From that, we can add some command line arguments. Yeah, so it will facilitate all the options, and we can expand it later. Okay. Output path. Can choose output path, and we can create this example. Okay, that's good. Okay, remove all the artifacts, but through generate credentials script. Yeah, so let's clean up what we have created, and let's make sure that the script itself can also be used for cleanup. Okay, it uses OS instead of... Yeah, okay. That can be improved later, but let's leave it like this for now. Okay. So let's come back to end-to-end tests and see if they work. Okay, that's bad. All of that should happen through inside the test itself. But at least there is some past. That's bad. Complete setup and cleanup should be in the test itself. Yes, let's continue with this, and let me remove this one since it popped up again. But the correct one is here. Okay. Let's add some stuff. Okay. But then again, this is this should call that script, but we can do it later. So we don't have two sources of truth. Otherwise, we will get in trouble quickly. Now let's see if it can somehow reuse this script, generate credentials in the test itself. Yes, that's what I want. Let's use this. Let's use the script for everything. And then we will have to verify if this is actually working, since we have started from requirements, but then we were carried out by some other tasks since the tests themselves were failing. Okay. Okay, good. It's running, but I'm not yet sure if it's doing something. But I'm not sure if it's doing something. We should see more logs. Let's see what it proposes, whether it will add logs just here in the tests or in the app itself. Okay, nothing happened. It claims that it did something, but I don't see anything. Again, no output. I can't. Yeah, and there's this is again a next problem in those agents that they will claim, for example, that the test works. But in this case, I'm not sure since I wasn't verifying it that deeply. But I had this problem already in some other cases where it just created a mock test instead of a real test, which wasn't testing anything. Yeah, and it's claimed that it did a job, but actually nothing happened. Now address already news. Okay, so we will have to. Okay, now it's showing something at least. Make sure that the test is cleaning the space, including port for the app, and but only if it's running under the same user. So we can use the test to kill whatever was running before on that port if it's running under our user, but we don't want to crash anyone else. Let's see. No such process. What is the current problem? It uses it used the interface in the wrong way. It's not a valid attribute for that process iteration. Yeah. 25 warnings, but where are the warnings? I don't see them. Yes, please maximally improve. Let's see. What can it do? And clean up the port 5000. Well, this also should be configured, so maybe let's add some to do here. To do make this configurable. Exactly. And what else? Indentation error. Let's make sure that it run the test. And let's see. You can see anything. Yeah, there is an indentation still. Yes, I wanted to fix it. Yes, fix it. And let's see what we can do as next. So in our workflow, I wanted to refactor this out to a separate script. And yes. And make sure that we are using it. It's green, so no syntax errors in the test itself, but we still don't know if it's doing something or not. Still don't know if it's doing some. We should be informed when the app started, and how are we verifying its correctness. Okay, tries to request on port 5000. That's okay, I guess. Okay, why I don't see log message in the terminal? Maybe something needs to be set up. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. No, I don't want to install it. Let it think, and then we still need to do pip freeze. Can even. Yeah, please make sure it works, and we can add a new punch. Okay. Let me add here something. Run it. Flask upload messages will now appear live in your terminal during test execution, but we don't see them yet. But that's okay. We can work on this later. Let's now run pip freeze and commit the changes. Yes. To okay, update requirements. Mans txt. That's why we want to run pip freeze, not just for my information. I can't do anything with this. Well, I could paste it myself, but I don't want to do it since I'm using my agent for everything. Has been updated. Okay. Let's see. Can you refactor CI pipeline? So instead of setting up everything in raw form directly in the workflow, rely on series of scripts that we can run separately from scripts directory. Okay, let's do that, and then we can run them one by one, and we can update the pull request. Creating install dependencies. Okay, good. Wait for MySQL. Prepare DB schema. Okay. Yeah, and one thing that I see is that the paths are hard coded. We should provide them. Let's don't hard code the paths, since we can run the scripts from any place, and then it will be invalid. All the scripts, it updated one. Let's update all of them. Okay. Now let's run them one by one in the same order as CI. And also we need to pass the paths here. Okay, we already see that MySQL admin hasn't been installed. Okay, tries to run this on its own, not like this. We need to make sure it's in the scripts, so it is reproducible. And it's again one thing that I've noticed those agents do a lot is that they modify the environment manually. Yeah, and in that case, anything that was done is not reproducible. Yeah, everything should be done through code. Otherwise, it's lost. Okay, added it here. Style dependencies. And on the next. Okay, again, it's getting blocked. No, it's not okay. It is running in loop forever. Please add timeouts for every script. Okay, let's see if it can enter timeouts, and we will also have to update it here. Since the interface of the scripts has changed, we will need to update the PR. No response was returned. Let's see if it can do it. Maybe it's already too much for it to do, and it will just crash. Okay, some changes. That's good. So 120 seconds. So I guess that's a bit too long. 2-minute timeout. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. And here 30 seconds. Okay. Good. Let's update ci.yaml. And because the interfaces of scripts, okay, or have been checked. Okay, whatever, it will understand. It can understand even with all the grammar mistakes. Not like this. That's just That's not how it works. Timers are inside the scripts, but we expect the paths. Okay, still not. Don't the scripts expect paths to be provided? I think so. Yes. Us, that's what we need. Okay. Okay. Let's now push everything. And now let's see if it really works. Probably it will fail on some other step, but maybe at least the first steps will be completed. So initializing the containers, which I think we don't use yet, but yeah, let's leave it like this. Maybe we use a container from MySQL. I'm not sure about that. I have to verify this. Checking. Installing dependencies. Still the container. Okay, all looks good. And that's interesting. Let's request a review from Copilot and see what it says. And let's take a look ourselves again. So we have created the CI workflow. Which is using this MySQL database. And by the way, I'm not sure if our generate credentials root Flask DB. Okay, seems to be using the same Flask DB. Okay. So we might be using the Docker just for that already, for the MySQL. But I think that inside the tests, we are not yet calling it. It's not explicitly. I'll have to check and then install dependencies, wait for MySQL, generate credentials, prepare DB schema, run smoke test and clean. Okay, that's good. Have our generate credentials, install dependencies, prepare DB schema, run smoke tests, and wait for MySQL. Test that we removed. Credentials JSON example. We don't need it anymore. We can generate it from here. And we have improved the tests to kill any previous instance of our Flask app if it belongs to us, to our user. And to call the home page and see if it returns proper status code 200, no errors, and so on, and then kill it. Yes, of course, we will have to add a little bit more stuff and figure out why those prints are not redirected. And by the way, maybe they were shown here. Let's see. No. Nothing is shown here. So either it's not running properly or something is swallowing our logs. Not good. We've got some comments from the copilot. Oh, it had found one mistake. Spelling error. Two functions with the same name test homepage. And that's code cleaner. There is some duplication. Default port. Okay. Import statement is duplicated. Yes. Okay. Thanks for that. It's not defined. Specified by. There is a lot of duplication. I see that it had found. Okay. And those two are. Yeah, they are for this test smoke. Let's copy it and let's open a new chat and ask maybe Gemini 2.5. No, I don't have access to it. Claude. Fix and improve. Well, just remove all the duplicates. It should find it on its own. And in the meantime, we can pull all the changes that were done by the copilot. Okay. And can see several issues, including code duplication. Let me create a pull request with the improvements. No, please show the code here. We have already a code. And we can also ask it, by the way, do you know why are logs and prints not displayed in the terminal when running PyTest? Code organization, separate classes for port manager, Flask, okay, added proper type hints, remove duplication, that's what we wanted, error handling, better timeouts, resource management, use context manager, proper cleanup, reliability, okay, so some additional timeouts, additional logs, and test structure. Yeah, good, seems okay. By default. Okay, a lot of information, but this might be interesting. All output during execution. Yeah, that's something that we can use. So let's first add this. Let's add this, and let's also add this thing with timestamps. Okay. Minus s minus v. Okay, let's see if it works. Scripts / run tests. Which permission denied. Oh, now it's okay. Now I can see on the logs. Yeah, so that was a good idea. Good. So let's add all the changes done by me and push with proper message. Yeah, that's interesting. We were missing some parameters for the PyTest to see the logs. Okay, good. So now, let's see. This was resolved. This was resolved. I'll have to wait for our CI to complete. And not sure if it will recheck anything again or it's just running once. Maybe there is an option to re-request review. There is. You have to press on this button, then it will check the new changes. So let's wait for it. And let's take a look again in this test smoke. This could actually be put on some higher level. So we will further on divide this directory in next steps to unit tests and end-to-end tests. And this is something that can be used by many end-to-end tests as we'll be improving it. So, and Flask App Manager as well, probably even by some unit tests. Who knows? But no, this is using subprocess, so that's definitely not a unit test level territory, but can be taken outside of this test to not pollute it. And yeah, creates app manager, cleans up the ports, starts, yields and stops. Yeah, uses fixture for that, very clean. And here's the actual test for the home page. And for the health check, response time too slow. If it takes longer than 2 seconds, or if the response body is empty. That's also interesting test. Now looks good. That's really great progress this time. Let's see if there are any new comments. Okay, this is added 2 times. Yeah, good catch. Default empty password for database connection poses a security risk. Consider using a more secure default or requiring the password to be explicitly set. Okay. Let's not use an empty password. Hard-coded database credentials should be parameterized or use environment variables for better security. And how? Okay. Let's use environment variables for this. Connections again. We can switch to environment variables, but I think that we'll also need to set them at some point. So either way, we'll need at least one script to set those variables. Okay. Let's see if it will work now. I think that it might fail because we added all of those propositions or suggestions from the Copilot, or how is it called? Yeah, Copilot reviewer, but they will require some additional steps to be done, like setting up those environment variables. And let's see. So we might fail right now. Okay, good. Let's go here. Let's pull. Check the new scripts. They are relying on n variables now, but we need to set them. Use some new script for that. And that. And call it as an initial step in the workflow. Okay. Let's see how it goes. Set and variables, okay. Okay, great. Run the scripts to verify if it works. Mm-hmm. Dependencies works, but let's see. How far can we go? Mm-hmm. Yes, let's up it. Okay, but it's creating those variables. Why are they not shown here? Okay, do it. Claims that we need to source it first. Okay, good. Run to verify. So supposedly, because we are not sourcing the script, that's why it failed here. But let's see if that's okay. That's the case. Now it runs them all together. That's new. Okay, here is getting into some infinite loop. Workflow ran as expected up to MySQL readiness check. All environment variables were set, dependencies installed, and credentials generated. However, the MySQL service was not ready within the timeout. This confirms environment variables are correctly set and available. All scripts execute in the expected order. The workflow will fail fast if a required service is not available. Yeah, okay. We don't want to change the timeout. Don't change the timeout. Make sure that MySQL starts. But that might be the case that we are not setting up the Docker. Okay, let's push him. That's scenario. Let's push and let's verify it on the pull request side. Okay, let's see. Okay. Installing containers. At first steps, I guess, are correct. It's a bit long. Maybe we could make it faster. Containers take a lot of time. Okay, set up Python. Environment variables is fast. Then dependencies also take some time. And we fail. Okay. So let's try it again. We failed on workflow run for the PR. Okay, yeah, it does not persist to subsequent steps. That makes sense. Each step runs in a new shell, so exported variables are lost. You need to set the required environment variables using env key in your workflow YAM so that they are available to all the steps. Yes. That is true. Makes sense. Strange that I haven't figured it out earlier, but of course I tend to forget stuff. Would you like me to update? Yes, so let's update. And if we set it up like this, then it will persist between the steps. Okay, so let's push and see if it works. And now we'll have to wait half a minute before we reach the step, since those initial steps take a lot of time. This one takes 24 seconds and this 12 seconds. That's long. Let's take a look at this CI. Now we are setting it up here in the CI file itself. Okay. But we still have the script to set it up if we want to use it on our own. Okay, that's good. 17 commits in total. Here is the last one. All checks have failed. Some new environment variables. Okay, my agent, you should have known it. We are using too many different names for the same thing. We will have to update it at some time. Update and push. And I will also update my to-do list to unify and variables used across script. A lot of repetitions with different names. Your CI pipeline should now run without environment variable errors, as if it's verified if we have changed everything. Yeah, maybe those are the two last ones, but maybe there are some new ones as well. Let's see. It's running. 28 seconds. Storing dependency. This takes around 12 seconds, so it should be finished. 11, 12, 13, 14 this time. Okay. All worked perfectly. And even the smoke tests. Could not inspect or kill process. Could not inspect or kill process. Generating credentials. Starting Flask up. Okay, started successfully. Testing homepage. Response status 200. Response headers. Werkzeug. Python 3.10. Interesting. Responsive block template. Okay. Homepage test passed successfully. And app health as well. Good. Looks good. So let's merge this PR and confirm the merge. This it's already big enough, and we can successfully close this issue. So next time we will start to implement a better version of the API.